In 1985, Capcom would release a vertical scrolling run-and-gun shooter called Commando that was an instant arcade hit. The concept was simple: you versus the enemy to bring back peace. Think countless 1980s action flicks to get an idea of what I'm talking about. Shock Troopers follows this exact same formula, although it hit the scene significantly later, in 1997 to be precise. It was released on the MVS arcade hardware, but was never officially released on the AES. There are a lot of conversions out there, of course, but I always found it interesting that such a well-regarded game never made it to the home console until the follow-up was released 2 years later in 1999. Like so many fantastic Neo Geo games, Shock Troopers was released at a time when 3D gaming was hitting the masses, and arcades were slowly winding down. It's a shame too, as Shock Troopers is one of the very best of its kind and deserved far more praise than it originally got back in the day. One of the very best features of Shock Troopers is the wealth of options available. For starters, you can select between one of 8 playable characters, which have all different secondary weapons. Some even have different primary weapons, and some even feel different. Some walk slower, some jump higher, and some feature excellent grenade attacks that are just really cool. The core gameplay is simple. You proceed in the direction the game tells you and destroy absolutely everything in your path. You can even find new weapons everywhere. Although powerful, they have limited ammunition. This includes a flamethrower, heavy machine gun, and much more. Before jumping into a mission, you select between Lone Wolf or Team Battle, which essentially means you can either try and do the mission with one character you really like, or you can have the option to swap characters on the fly during the mission, which is always how I play, because I find it very strategic and very interesting. Naturally, a friend can join in on the fun if they'd like, and join they should, as it's an absolute blast to play this game with a friend. Once you've decided how you're going to play, you can then select between 3 completely different routes: mountain, jungle, and valley, and then it's off to the races. This is especially interesting though, as it gives the game an incredible amount of replay value, and considering I'm playing this on the Switch, I found myself constantly booting the game up for just a couple of sessions here and there whenever I had some free time. It's a great way to kill 30 minutes before you have to go and do something else. Moving around does take a little bit of getting used to, mainly because you have full 360-degree freedom of movement. If you hold down the A button, you lock your character's position and fire only in that direction. B is your evade button, C lobs a grenade, and D allows you to swap characters. It's the walking and shooting aspect that does take a little bit of time to get used to. But once you spend maybe 30 minutes with the game, you'll be good to go. You can even walk up to enemies and melee attack them a la Metal Slug, which I love. And speaking of which, I really get that Metal Slug vibe when I play this game. From the fantastic animations and beautiful color palettes, this game screams quality. Metal Slug was the same. There was just something about that series, and this one too. The humor from Slug is also present here, which is likely why I like the game as much as I do. The music is great, the graphics are fantastic, it's just an all-around fantastic game. As with the entire ACA line, you can expect a wealth of arcade settings you can alter, including adding blood to the US version, or you can try your hand at the Japanese version of the game if you so desire. There's also a high score mode which limits you to 1 credit and challenges you to get the best possible score. Then there's Caravan mode, which is sort of like a variation of the high score mode, but you're restricted to a certain amount of time and you have to rack up as many points as possible in that time. So that's pretty much all I've got to say about Shock Troopers. Next week we'll cover Shock Troopers Second Squad, and you'll find out why I preferred this original release so much more compared to the next one.